So last week we made a video where we went back through one of the Ringers articles where they were trying to predict the 2023 All-Star players, but all the way back in 2018. And I was like, hey, if you see some articles of people trying to predict the NBA future, let me know. And I got spammed this one trying to predict the top 20 players in the NBA this season all the way back in 2018. If you like this, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Let's get into it. Just like the last time, I did not read this article. I didn't skim through this article. But just from the first picture alone tells me a lot already. So this is all the way back in July of 2018. So shout out to Mateus. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It takes a lot of courage to make an article like this because you got random people like me that will go back and say, aha, you was wrong. When in reality, it's not that important. It's impossible to predict the NBA. Who would have thought that Kevin Durant would be a Phoenix Sun 2 years ago? Not a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? It's impossible to predict how things are going to go. So the NBA will be a much different league in 2023. The Warriors dynasty will be over and LeBron may be ready to retire. Little did he know, that boy Bron still kicking it. He still got years left in the tank, my boy. Making these predictions is not easy since we have to consider how a player's game will develop as he ages. And we also have to consider the fact that some players are more prone to injuries than others. Nonetheless, it's always interesting to try to guess what the future holds for basketball as a whole. There's nothing more fun than watching young talent develop and take over the reins as stars in the NBA. Okay. The only little hint we're going to give is that LeBron James is not on our list. Yes, he could still be playing. And even though we know not to doubt LeBron at this point, we don't think he will still be a top 20 player at the age of 38. Little did you know. Top 20 is an understatement, brother. Brother's still up there. You know what I'm saying? So these are their predictions for the top 20 players in basketball, again, back in 2018 for 2023. The number one thing, I'm spoiling. At 20, we have Aaron Gordon. Athleticism is the base of everything in basketball. This is an understandable-ish pick. See, this past season, he's averaging 17.6 and 8 rebounds, 2.5 assists per game. In Orlando, most impressively here is his shooting. In his rookie year, he was 27% three-point shooting. Now he's up to 33%. Aaron Gordon's not top 20, but this season, he's playing a lot better than his previous years. So you're wrong on top 20 on that one, but you like, what is Aaron Gordon right now? Top 45-ish? He did not develop into the dude that this guy thought he would, but he's still been having a good career. This next one is surprising to me. Steven Adams at 19. He's saying that Steven Adams is 24 in this year, and he's already one of the best in the league. He's not even 25 yet. We could talk about Russell Westbrook and how good he is, but at the end of the day, the glue that holds the Oklahoma City Thunder together is Adams. The man is an anchor and one of the best rebounders in the league. This past year, he averaged 9 rebounds per game. And if you watch the OKC games, he's not, obviously, Steven Adams is not top 20, but he's extremely underrated. I think you're seeing that right now with the Memphis Grizzlies struggling to close out games and struggling to win games when Steven Adams went out on his injury. They were good when Ja missed, but suck when Steven Adams missed. And not saying that he's more valuable than Ja, but it's just showing how important his role is in the game of basketball. So obviously he's not top 20, but he's extremely valuable. Okay, I cannot be mad at Jaylen Brown being on this list. Jaylen Brown at 18 is his first win. Again, I'm not going to get my own personal, here's my top 20 players in basketball, but if it feels about right, and this right here, Jaylen Brown in the top 20 feels about right. Jaylen Brown is not the kind of player casual NBA fans rave about. This is a kid who came into the league as a number 3 overall pick, but he never really had much hype around him. That is until he became a starter for the Boston Celtics. Brown has so much more talent, and it's unfair for him and Tatum to be on the same team. That's facts. As you see that in 2023, the boys are hoping. Okay, first dub. Next one is Trae Young. Can't be mad at Trae Young being on this list. Cannot be mad at it. Trae Young is a stud. And he's saying this is a gamble. There has not been a hit or miss guard prospect in the NBA like Trae Young since Jimmer Fredette was drafted. Yes, this is not a comparison Young would like many people to make, but it is one that's going to stay with him until the fans and the media decide whether or not he's the next Steph Curry or the next Jimmer. And the reality is he's not neither of those things, but he's way closer to Steph than he was Jimmer. But again, he's not close to either of those. Remember, we're talking about 2018. Keep that in mind. We're talking about 2018, and Trae Young's first year in the NBA, because I got to keep reminding myself that, was the 2018-2019 season. So he's writing this saying that, hey, in 5 years, Trae Young will be a top 20 player. And he hadn't even saw Trae Young play a real NBA game just yet. And there was a lot of skeptics around Trae Young once he got drafted after a season at Oklahoma. Being just a stud and that, but he was small, he was undersized, he was a tricky shooter, all of that stuff. So this is actually a really good get because some people saw that he could be this, but a lot of people really doubted Trae Young. And as you saw in the article, he said this is our wild card. So definitely the last two, I would give him dubs. The next person is Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal is not considered top 20 anymore, but he did have seasons where he led the league in scoring. He averaged 30-plus points per game. So this one's not too crazy. I wouldn't consider him top 20 right now, but he has had seasons where he's played like a top 20 type guy. 15 is Kuzma. Oh my God. A lot of people rave about Donovan Mitchell and how it was the steal of the draft for the Utah Jazz. But at the end of the day, many believe the real steal of the 2017 draft was Kyle Kuzma. Obviously, Kuz was not the 15th best player in basketball, not even really close, but he has turned his career into a really good career as the fourth type player on your roster. It's been a while since we have watched a rookie with as much confidence in his offense as Kuzma demonstrated throughout the season when he played the Los Angeles Lakers. The kid, it was almost a second-round pick, yada, yada, yada. Kuzma being on this list, not great. Michael Porter Jr., another guy that a lot of people thought was going to come in and be a stud, me included. I met Michael Porter Jr. at a Milwaukee Bucks playoff game versus the Boston Celtics. There's a vlog on one of my channels, and I dapped him up, and I looked back at the camera and said, future Bull. He was about to be in that year's draft. The Bulls ended up having a 7th overall pick, drafted Wendell. Is that the Wendell Carter year? I think they drafted Wendell Carter and not Michael Porter Jr. And my pops, I vividly remember my pops calling me and said they should have drafted Porter Jr. And MPJ's been really good, but obviously he's dealt with so many injuries, so he's not the 14th best player in basketball. Next, DeAndre Ayton, another guy that is not completely right. He has showed glimpses where he could be a top 20 type player in the league, but he's very far from it because he's inconsistent. He doesn't use his size as much as you would want a guy that's 7 foot tall. But hey, he's playing with Kevin Durant. He's playing with Devin Booker. He's playing with Chris Paul. Hopefully, we're going to rejuvenate DeAndre Ayton because we had series like the one against the Pelicans last season, or was that 2 seasons ago at this point? I don't know. It all goes together where he was like the best player on the court for a lot of it. And we haven't seen that version of him for some time. 12th is Karl Anthony Towns. A lot of people probably like to see Karl Anthony Towns higher on this list, but honestly, they wanted to put him higher. But the thing is, the first trip to the playoffs was a disheartening. Yeah. So this is right off the cusp of them getting eliminated after the Jimmy Butler playoff run with the Minnesota Timberwolves. Karl Anthony Towns, is he top 20? He's probably just outside top 20. The guy's not shooting a great percentage. I'll just say that. Next is Nikola Jokic is number 11. Little did he know Nikola Jokic is going to be way closer to 1 than 11. I'm not saying he is 1, but he's closer to 1 than he is 11. This is something people who only look at the stats and don't watch games will not understand. But in our opinion, the Denver Nuggets is one of the most exciting teams to watch in the NBA this previous season. Much of that has to do with the unique talent of center Nikola Jokic. We have seen countless big men with excellent playmaking ability in the history of the NBA. However, Jokic might develop into the best of all of them. That's facts. That's a dub. He has developed into the best passing playmaking center of all time. So yeah, Jokic on the list is dope, but number 11 is still too low. Lonzo Ball at 10. Oh man, Lonzo Ball at 10. This is what we thought we was going, Zo. Dang. Yeah. Zo was solid. Nevertheless, Zo finished the season averaging 10, 7, and 7 assists with about 2 steals, man. We miss you, Zo. I swear we miss you. Don't quote this. But he could be looking at the next player to average a triple-double in the NBA. Will after Ben Simmons is the third in history. Number 9, Kristaps Porzingis. Sheesh. They not shooting a great percentage. They're not shooting a great percentage of this one. If you were making a list at the beginning of the season, there's a chance Kristaps Porzingis will be higher. Unfortunately, whenever a guy, especially a 7'3" guy, goes down with an ACL injury, yeah, we don't need to read it. Kristaps Porzingis is nowhere near this, but he's having a really good rejuvenated season. Shout out to Porzingis. Number 8 is Book. That's pretty good. I mean, Book is not 8. Let's be real. He's not 8, but he's on the list. And right now, I'm counting the mini dubs. And Book is a top 20 player in the NBA right now, so it's a dub that you got him on the list. Number 7 is Anthony Davis. I would say a dub. Anthony Davis, when he is healthy and playing where we think he could be, he's a top 20 guy. What can I say? He's a top 20 guy. Number 6 on the list, I did see it a little bit. It was Joel Embiid. The 76ers have trusted the process, and they have been rewarded. They have a pair of generational talents. Little did they know. One of which will be the best big man of his generation. Hell, Joel Embiid might already be the best center in the NBA. Little did they know, the number 11 guy on this list, Nikola Jokic, was going to be widely considered the best center in the NBA. Everybody don't believe it, but he's won 2 MVPs, and he might win a third. So I think that alone might make people know that he's number 1. Skill, swagger, strength, Twitter. Embiid has all the tools a player needs to become the best at what he does. Unfortunately, Joel Embiid has got away from using Twitter. I love the Joel Embiid, Troel eras, but he decided he'd rather not do that anymore. But boy, it was such a great time when he was trolling left and right. We just don't do it no more. Troll Embiid, man, we miss it. Number 5, Luka Doncic. Yeah, okay, so this was written in 2008. So this is pre-Luka playing a single game. Because like we said, this is pre-Trae Young playing a single game. So it's the same thing. So he predicted that Luka Doncic is going to be the 5th best player in basketball in 5 years. And that's a pretty good bet. Every time international players drafted to the NBA, he has met with heavy scrutiny from both franchises and fans. That kind of scrutiny only multiplies when he is taken as high as the number 3 overall. Remember, I'm an L reader, so bear with me. This is a situation Luka Doncic finds himself in as Mark Cuban and the Dallas Mavericks put their future of the franchise in his hands. The thing here is that the kid is already a proven star. Leave aside the Euro League prejudice and just watch him play. There's not many basketball players as talented as he is in the NBA today. We talk about a guy who hasn't even played a minute yet. Doncic will be one of the best players in the league and might even be an MVP at some point. Great prediction. Great write-up. Great write-up. I'm recording this video, and as I'm recording it, the first game of Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic is going on, and Kyrie just shot a 3 that missed it. Luka with the tip dunk. Number 5. Luka just tip dunked. I'm just saying. Number 4, Donovan Mitchell. Oh, snap. Oh, snap. Now, Dono's not top 4 for sure, but he is top 20. He is top 20. He definitely ain't number 4, though. Oh, my God. There are a lot of things you can teach in the game of basketball, but confidence is not one of those things. Confidence is something you develop yourself as a person, something yada, yada. Okay, so he said that Donovan Mitchell is that dude. When's the last time you saw a rookie take over a playoff series against the reigning MVP the way Mitchell did against Russell Westbrook this season? Don't forget, proven playoff player Donovan Mitchell. Number 3, Tatum. Can't be mad at it, man. Talking about rookies who took playoff series into their own hands. There was a pair who did exactly that in 2017-2018. Donovan Mitchell took it over for Utah as they won their first round series. But the thing here is that Tatum proved throughout the campaign that he went as far as the Eastern Conference Finals, that he will be one of the top 3 players in the NBA for years to come. Not mad at it. Tatum was an MVP candidate for a lot of the seasons. I think he's kind of lost the top 3 MVP candidacy as of late, but he's still elite. He said no LeBron. So Steph Curry still ain't been mentioned. Kevin Durant still ain't been mentioned. Are those going to be 1 and 2? Ben Simmons! I forgot that the thumbnail of this was Ben Simmons. I forget. Number 2. So that means Steph Curry and Giannis is probably number 1 because of that. So Steph Curry and Kevin Durant don't even consider top 20 players of basketball, but Aaron Gordon would be. Hell out of here. Get the hell out of here. What? Are you serious? Listen, people predicting that Ben Simmons was going to be a top 3 player is not that crazy, bro. Remember 5 years ago, Ben Simmons was doing some crazy. Let's look at Ben Simmons' stats from 2017. Because remember, this was written before the 2018-2019 seasons. So 2017, Ben Simmons was coming off his rookie year where he averaged 16 points per game, 8 assists, 8 rebounds, about 2 steals, and a block, y'all. And he was an all-star the next season. He was all-NBA once. So it wasn't crazy to think that Ben Simmons was going to end up being one of the greatest players of basketball. That's not crazy. Now, we see him now averaging 7 points per, and he won't even look at the basket. But these years, it was pretty consistent as far as the NBA goes. This guy's next. He didn't end up being next. And he's only 26, so who knows what happens. But, man, we know the number 1 is Giannis. While we do believe everyone on this list is talented, nothing comes even close to the top 2 guys. First, Ben Simmons is a player who does not exist. You can yell LeBron James at the top of your lungs and say everything you can and hate on Simmons, but the truth is that the kid is 1 jump shot away from being the best player in the NBA. Yes, we're counting Anthony Davis in this. Simmons is just an unprecedented talent in basketball. He's a 6'10" point guard who can literally do everything on the court other than shoot the basketball. Oh, man. But as many players prove throughout their careers, shooting is something you can learn if you put the time in. And you can bet Philadelphia has this kid in the gym shooting basketballs around the clock. Oh, man. Could you imagine? And then lastly is Giannis, of course. Everyone here, everyone knew where we were going with this right? Well, okay, we don't have to. At 23 years old, Giannis Antetokounmpo is already a two-time All-Star and already recognized one of the best players in basketball. Crazy thing is, he's still a diamond in the rough. Giannis is still polishing his skills. He does not have a reliable jump shot. He still has lapses in his judgment. But yeah, okay, we know Giannis is dope, and we knew that 5 years ago. Yeah, Ben Simmons at 2, man. Ben Simmons at 2. I want to make one of these. I want to make one of these because it's gonna be impossible to know. And I'm here for it. Hey, shout out to y'all who sent me this. The link is in the description if you want to send me other articles or stuff to react to. I'm always there. These old article things are fun, bro. I need to definitely do one of these like once a week.